Namaste Galactic family, welcome back to my channel IndigoAngel. Come on into this dimension, guys. Be sure to subscribe, hit that notifications bell, and comment and share this video. And welcome to this very special energy update I have for you guys today. As you can see, I am sitting in the Andean Mountains. I found this beautiful spot yesterday when I was hiking up this trail to go check out this double waterfall that they have in Cascadas, Aclamado. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a trail that's in Aguascalientes that leads you up to this really beautiful sacred place. You get to pass through some fairy gardens, and well, I was calling them fairy gardens because when I walked through them, I could hear the sacred spirits of the land and the elements, and they were speaking in all these sacred tongues, these earth tongues that just were mystic. It was very mystic, very healing. I was receiving a lot of clearing, a lot of cleansing that was kind of coming through me. I think I cried a couple times on the trail, everything, so but saw this place, wanted to come back here to film because you can see behind me, this is a perfect shot. It's just absolutely gorgeous, this beautiful peak here. And this morning it's been raining for most of the morning, so we did have that fog that comes down. I know you guys have probably seen that in some pictures of Machu Picchu when you see the fog descend and or the clouds descend and cover the mountaintops and kind of loom through Machu Picchu itself. We've been experiencing that here all morning. I can see it when I turn around. I don't know if you guys can see it in the shot because of the glare, but there's definitely a bunch of that happening around the top of that peak there. And there is a little bit of background noise, so I hope you guys can hear me okay. There is a river right below me. But yeah, it's so amazing to be here. I'm so thankful. I'm in so much gratitude. It was 2 full days of traveling, you guys. 3 different plane rides, taxi ride, train ride, bus ride. I mean, nonstop. So it's definitely a trek. It's no joke to get here. But I'm so happy that I pushed through it. The stress of the traveling did start to kind of wear on me by the last day, so I was really feeling like I was just ready to be at the hotel. But after getting a good night's sleep and all of that, I was kind of ready to go. But yeah, definitely don't want to rush your time here. You want to be able to take it all in. I got this fabulous, amazing red hat. I know you guys are like, what is she wearing? I found this in the village here in Aguascalientes, and it's made of all alpaca fur, so it's just so soft, you guys. It's literally just so fluffy, beautiful, amazing. It is kind of sticking to my forehead a little bit because I did get a little sweaty hiking up this trail. The trail to get up here was no joke, okay? Made me realize how out of shape I actually am. I had to stop many times to drink water. But it's okay. It challenges me in a good way. So but yeah, so today I am going to try to get up to Machu Picchu for the first time. I'm trying to get the afternoon tickets to go up there and hopefully to film an artistic video. So I haven't actually put an artistic video out in a while. My last one was the Ashera invocation that I did in Egypt in 2020. So for all of my new subscribers, you're going to kind of see this different side of me. So I just want to let you guys know that I really enjoy making art. It's always been a passion of mine: videography, cinematography, graphic designs, graphic arts, things like this. So I really want to do a portal collapse because I am seeing inner earth gate systems to the Vatican. Okay, so I know a lot's going on with that right now, which it's hard to pull myself back into that world right now because once you kind of get here, secluded in this like sacred valley, that all that stuff starts to seem to just start falling off of you. Like it's just not even important almost. Like it's like the land just starts calling you, and it's this sacred healing that starts coming from within and reminding you of like how you're organic and how you're connected to the land, and there's this true sacred nature and organic way of living, and you're reminded of that through the village people here and all of this. So hard to pull myself a little bit back into that world, but it is playing out on another dimension in my field that I'm keeping track of. But yeah, so one of my really, really good friends, Bart, who is an amazing, inspiring graphic artist, cinematographer, he's flown out to help me do this video here at Machu Picchu. So we're going to do the best we can. There is a lot of people at Machu Picchu. It is the busy season. So I'm going to see how much of this I can actually get filmed without causing too much of a scene or getting ourselves kicked out type of thing. It was a lot easier to be free in expression in Egypt in the middle of the desert because there was absolutely nobody there. But here there's a lot more people. So we'll do the best we can and see what we can do. I also wanted to tell you guys that I am not quite sure when I'll be able to get these videos posted. Just because, sorry, if I seem a little distracted right now, it's just because there is some people that are walking down the trail right now. So I'm just kind of giving them a second to kind of walk by while I continue talking to you guys. I love it when I get to be completely isolated and like alone and just have these energies to myself. Call me selfish. I don't want to share Machu Picchu with anybody. I'm like, how do we get in contact with the authorities so we can just shut it down for ourselves for the whole day? I guess it's who you know and how much money you have probably at the end of the day to do something like that, but that would be my dream ultimately, is to go in there and be able to just freely meditate, express myself, film the whole thing, the whole shebang. But no guys, so I will, I just want to let you know, it might be difficult for me to get these uploaded. The Wi-Fi here is ridiculously horrible. It's just because this place is so secluded. It's very isolated. So I'm not sure how much I'll be able to. I'm gonna try, but if I can't get it out soon, I guess I'll have to just post all these videos upon my return. Aguascalientes is honestly, it's a very special, sacred town. I chose to stay here. A lot of people don't stay here for a very long time. I noticed that a lot of people just come in for one night, go to Machu Picchu, and then they're out on the next train. And that seems to be the typical way that people do it here. Most people, I guess, stay down in Cusco. But I wanted to stay here because I got this feeling, Aguas Caliente meaning hot water or hot springs. I had this feeling that it was just a very special, sacred town, and I realized that Aguascalientes is the actual spiritual gateway to Machu Picchu. And so everyone who wants to go to Machu Picchu has to pass through this gateway. It's kind of like there are gatekeepers here, so to speak, energetically, spiritually. One of those gatekeepers is Pachacuti. Okay, so Pachacuti was the emperor that basically transformed the Incan Empire. Quechua, I believe they call it Quechua. So most archaeologists now believe Machu Picchu was actually built as an estate for Pachacuti. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to pull up a picture of Pachacuti. One thing I want to express about Aguascalientes is it's actually very dynamic here, how you see the Templar, dogmatic, and the religious systems integrated with the traditions of the ancient shamanism. You can see that the majority of the culture here in Aguascalientes, like the actual modern-day Peruvians, I guess you want to call them, descendants of the Incans, descendants of the Lemurians, descendants of Mu, the motherlands of man, you can see here that they have been taken over, or they have been invaded by the Draco systems and by the Templar and dogmatic and religious systems, because they're all devout Catholics. They have a lot of Catholic church here in the center of the town square. So I think that's kind of important to notate with things that we are clearing right now globally, with the crucifixion wounds, the seventh dimensional collective stigmata wounds that people carry, that keep those victors of Christ wounding within their template, that extend even into the Galactic Federation and cosmic consciousness, right? Everything is still an extension of Templar systems and biblical systems to a particular extent, in the way that we propagate savior consciousness and all of these things, that we need somebody to come save us, all of these types of things. This is not to negate faith and connection to source energy and all of these things, because that's still very much a factor, right? But it's just interesting here in Aguascalientes how you can really see the merging, because you can see the people here still keep their ancient traditions also simultaneously while adopting Catholicism. So you can see on Bitchute's chest here that he has a giant T symbol. So there's some more people that are walking by, so hang on just a second. But you can see here on Bitchute's chest that he has a giant T symbol. Now this is a very important symbol he displays on his armor. This symbol alone is a very clear indicator of a couple things. For one, it shows that the Lemurian templating runs through this Stargate site. So Machu Picchu is a fifth dimensional Palladian crux Stargate system. There's other Stargate systems here that are running. It's a multi-dimensional gate system. It's a universal gate system, but it upholds the fifth dimensional field predominantly, and anchors the original crystal seed codes here from the origination or the original origin of man. This T symbol is a clear indicator that the Lemurian templating runs through this Stargate site and also is merged with Mu, the motherlands of man. This system, the Stargate, Machu Picchu, is merged energetically and linked through this celestial grid fabric that ties us into the celestial system of crux. The T symbol represents crux. Like I said, it's also a Pleiadian gate system, has very strong Lemurian codes. It's also a Hydra gate system. It's also a Cygnusian gate system. It is also an Orion gate system. I see an Orion templating here as well. But essentially, this T symbol on Bitchute's chest is representative of Crux. So the Crux constellation is the smallest constellation system, essentially. And it's very important to the ancients of Mu and Lemuria. And this is how you know that all of this is connected, right? The crux to Mu, the ancients of Mu, was the divine mother energy. Okay, they prayed and worshipped the crux system. It was the celestial link to the Pachamama. The Peruvians call it, okay, the Incans call it, the ancient Quiros, the indigenous, they call it Pachamama. And it's really the divine spirit of all things that create matter. And it's the spirit of earth. It's a feminine creator energy that gives life to all. It is the sacral energy. Pachamama is the creative life force giving sacred energy. It's also kind of like the golden ratio. So I got this while I was here. And the Peruvians here call it Pachamama. Okay? And I've always been called to this. I've drawn this symbol like 1,000 times growing up, over and over, just this spiral. Very, very connected to it. And I've always wanted a beautiful necklace piece that exemplifies that. I could just never find a really good one in the States that I liked. So I was so happy to find this here. It's pure Abilene shell. And it has the golden ratio on it. So this is very powerful. This energy draws into the crux system, draws into the Pleiadian system, draws into the Pachamama energy. And it's also very connected to the cross as well. The cross that Christ was crucified on. These are connected because Crux represents that cross. Crux actually was the constellation that reigned before Christ. Okay, because it reigned in the ancient lands of Mu, it reigned in Lemuria. But it was also the star that was risen above Jerusalem on the horizon at the time of the crucifixion. So this star may have the power to release the crucifixion wounds globally. I really feel that working with the Crux energy here in Machu Picchu, for me as a grid keeper, as an Indigo type 1, as someone who comes to heal and clear and alleviate these global distortions. Okay, if you really want to know what the Indigo type 1 mission is all about, you guys need to watch the movie Wisdom Keepers by Paco. It's called Wisdom Keepers Paco Andino. I did post this up on the community tab. I also posted this on my Facebook. And it's just someone who went up to film the ancient shamans, the tribes that basically escaped the invasions of the Spanish and went off into the Andean Mountains to practice their devotion to Pachamama and Apu and the condor and all of these things. And they just praise, heal, love, worship, gratitude all day. That's what they do all day, every day. I mean, they're devout and devoted. And they are the ones that, I guess, give the sacred life force of creation the respect and the honor that it deserves. It's very, 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 very beautiful. And I feel like we're all connected to that mission. Okay, that's why we're all caught up and hung up on this nefarious BS that's destroying the integral aspects of humanity. Because we want more, we want better, we want to embrace the purity of what this earth and this world and spirit can provide for us here. So we're all technically fighting for that in our own way. And like I said, it's more about, I think, connecting to the Crux constellation at this time to release more of the crucifixion wounds globally. Why was that star risen in the heavens over Jerusalem at the time of the crucifixion? There is a meaning and a reason for that. I think in that system is where we can do more releasing of that. The Crux constellation is said to also represent the 3 towers of the world, or the 3 realms of the world. So the underworld, the living world, the heavens. And you can feel all of that energy here. All of those worlds and realms are merged in Aguascalientes, the gateway to Machu Picchu, which leads us into the Stargate structures and the geometries of the Stargate. So this is a very sacred merging into these timeline fields here at Machu Picchu. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to get to share this with you guys. Like I said, I feel very outside of what's going on with the Georgia Guidestones, very outside of what's running with the obelisks networks and the lightning strikes and the rods of the gods and the burning down of Rome currently. I mean, it is to be expected right now. We are living and walking through prophecy. And so, I mean, I don't think any of these things should come as any surprise to anybody when they happen, because we already know what we're awakened to at this time. One thing I've really noted for sure is just the Catholic presence that is here is very, very, very strong to the people that currently live here. And through that, so I'll show you this picture here of the Vatican Church, I'll say, the Catholic Church that's here in Aguascalientes, right? So it's like that intruder energy. But I've been seeing the inner earth portal structures that are linking all of this into the Vatican. So I do feel that there is an inner earth gate structure from the 5th dimensional, pure, Pleiadian, Crux, Hydra, Cygnusian constellation, Stargate, Earth-based Stargate, all the way into the Vaticonia systems. So I am going to try to run a clearing from this gate site because I feel that this is the most powerful way to actually do that. Do that work is to anchor in from the organic energies, from the powerful organic earth-based frequencies and funnel and channel and utilize that energy to clear those inner earth systems that connect into those structures that are feeding on another dimensional plane. Those 3 tiers. Okay, so feeding the underworld aspects of it, basically. It's really interesting. So if you look into the history of the Peruvian people here, when they were invaded by the Spanish, essentially they had to switch their allegiance and their long-held ancient beliefs because they were basically forced to. The Spanish came in and they built churches on top of their significant Incan buildings and their temples. And you know, it's what all colonizers essentially did. You know, they took away the sacredness and the connection to the organic and true way of living on this earth. So I think it's important that we kind of acknowledge that and are able to see through all of it. I think this also has a lot to do with the Virgin Mary being binded and the Virgin Mary being shackled to a karmic debt of birthing. I think this goes back into, the Virgin Mary was representative of the virgin birth, the original parthenogenesis according to dogmatic systems, right? But they've binded her energy. And because of that, we have all these different forms of her energy that represent a black mirror, such as Medusa, which they also try to stifle her energy, steal her energy, lock her energy away. They want to do that because they want to suppress the things that they've done to the divine feminine. Okay, they want to keep this corrupted way of reproduction in place and not allow us to understand the true ancient ways of procreation, which was originally parthenogenesis creation, which is rebirthing without seed artifacts, which allows the incarnates to come in free of karma. So I was talking about this on the video that I did with Maureen when we were talking about parthenogenesis creation. And so I think all of that ties into the worship and also the binding of the Virgin Mary's energy. This also comes in forms of implants in the Divine Feminine template. We talked about this in the Lemurian implant video that I did. And new session that I'm now offering, Lemurian implant tag removal for the Divine Feminine. It comes with the 12 stars, or the Crown of Mary, which is the 12 patriarchy stars. Okay, this is surrounding the feminine with patriarchy control. Okay, and disallowing her from being able to see a whole bunch of things that are going on, such as the forced breeding, because they're capped at the 10th dimensional field and they cannot see, through the Akashic field to understand that they have been procreating, I guess, against organic divine order for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay, and that this ancient wisdom has been taken from them. So it's really heavy, all of this, but it's true. This is true. The ancient shamans, the Kiros, they hold this wisdom sacred. They were very, very smart. They went off into the mountains and held their traditions sacred to keep the knowledge safe. And they still do to this day, essentially. They say that the cocoa leaves here, so that's another thing. They have a lot of cocoa leaves. Coca leaves here. And they're also very, very sacred. But they've distorted the story of the coca leaves, basically because their story is that the coca leaves were first blessed and blown by the Virgin Mary, okay, which is not true. They were first blessed and blown by Pachamama, which is the sacred, sacral, creational energy of this land, of this earth, of the divine Sophia. And so the dogmatic and the Templar takeover is extensive. You know, how they try to pull the ancient traditions out of everything. But the coca leaves are a part of the way here. It's so distorted in the United States and other parts of the world when they hear that, they think cocaine or they think drugs and stuff. But it's the plant. It's peaceful. It helps with altitude sickness. If you eat the leaves and you drink the coca tea, and it uplifts your spirit, and it allows you to connect more in with Pachamama, the sacral life force of creation of the Divine Mother. But many people have filters over their eyes. People here that live here have filters over their eyes. Okay? There's people here that didn't know some of this stuff that live here. And that's what happens when a culture is taken over by draconic systems. Okay? There's withheld knowledge. I do feel those Spanish colonizers brought forth the draconian energy, and this is something that has not left this village, and it's something that has not left the rest of the world. And the energy exists here simultaneously with the sacredness of this valley. But like I said, guys, the Incans were smart. They knew to hide their sacred teachings in the acts of colonization. So if you guys didn't already know, Machu Picchu is a 15th century citadel located in eastern Cordillera of southern Peru. It is located above the Sacred Valley, which is northwest of Cusco, set very high in the Andes Mountains. The Urubamba River flows past it, so that's what you are hearing. And it creates a canyon with a tropical mountain climate. So it does have a vibe that feels like if Colorado, Arizona, and the Amazon rainforest basically had a baby that was just like a bigger baby. That would be the Andean Mountains. So it's pretty fab. It's super fabulous. I mean, it just makes you feel so protected, and it's just sacredness all around you. You really feel that. Like I said, Machu Picchu is a 5th dimensional Stargate, and it has those inner Earth Gate connections to the Vatican. And now you guys know why, because of the invasion, the infiltration. So in the obelisk networks that I told you guys were running the energy down to Peru. So I'm going to work to clear that while I'm here. And yeah, so it's a really amazing thing to be here, and I'm happy to share it with you guys. Just be sure to stay tuned to the next updates and videos that I put out. And yeah, so I want to talk more about Stargates at some point, and the importance of Stargates. I think that's going to be an imperative part of understanding why it's so important to do this work here at Machu Picchu. It is a part of the mission's Indigo Type 1's. It is a part of the Indigo Type 1's mission to act as a grid keeper and a gatekeeper and a grail keeper and a spiritual land worker. Indigo Type 1s have the ability to work with ley lines, sacred sites, vortexes, and the diversification of energetic grid anatomy and Stargate locations on the Earth. So I'm going to actually wrap this video up. Hola! I'm going to actually wrap this video up with you guys because I did have some new visitors that just walked up on me, but I'll touch on the Stargates maybe a little bit later. I want to kind of go over the importance of them before I do the big clearing at Machu Picchu. So stay tuned, guys, and I hope you're having a beautiful everything. And if you're feeling, I just want to say, if you're feeling any fear, stress, anxiety from the global happenings at this time, everything that's going on in the world, I just want to say, do not fear. I don't think we realize how much weight, how much anxiety, how much tension we hold in our bodies constantly, every single day, until we're able to remove ourselves. And I'm saying that because I was just able to obviously remove myself for a little bit. And you feel such a pressure go out of your field. It's just amazing how much relief you feel by just kind of pulling yourself out of all of the chaos and the 2D and the 3D and the 4D, 5D, 6D battle warfare that we're constantly obsessing over on YouTube. I just want to say, like, it's okay to not worry and let go. It's okay to take a whole day to praise the heavens if you want to. Light a candle, light some sacred sage, and just sit in a most peaceful place that you can find and just praise gratitude, love, appreciation, healing. Ask for everything that you want and need. And do it all day long. No care, no worry, no nothing. Just give yourself to the divine. And you'll feel that stripping of the chaos that is unnecessary. And you get reminded again of what is actually important. So, I'm not saying I'm not above it all, because clearly you guys know me, I'm in the thick of it all the time. But I get these little tidbits here and there, these little sacred, peaceful things, these little trips that I get to take that remind me again. So I just want to share that with you guys and extend that to you. And just know that I love you all so much. I really do. I feel your guys' love all the time, 24/7. And just know you are my soul family. And we're all in this together type of thing. So, yeah. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And I'll be back soon. Take care.